But first, we're going to hear from Debbie, whose grandson was part of a startling statistic involving a huge teen trend. I'm talking about smoking what's called synthetic marijuana. Take a look.
It's sold as incense.
K2 and spice were things that I've never heard of before.
Do you have spice?
An aromatic blend, not for human consumption, with names like K2, Peppery, and Blaze It.
I think that teens will try anything just to fit in with their friends.
It looks like pot, and according to Fred, the effects are similar.
Spice, you don't need as much to smoke, and it lasts about twice as long.
I thought spice was something you burn in a bowl like a candle. I had no idea what it was. I would have never thought to talk to my grandson about spice. I've seen Dr. Phil do a lot of shows, and I never, ever in my life thought I would be talking on Dr. Phil about some teen trend. Parents are the last to know what their kids are doing or hiding or even talking about.
Before Stephen joins us, let's hear what his mother, Carrie, has to say.
It was around 9 o'clock at night. Stephen had a couple of buddies over. They were all outside hanging out. My husband and I told Stephen goodnight and dozed off. I was woken by Stephen yelling a horrible yell as if somebody was hurting him. And I went down to his room. It just wasn't a good scene. Apparently, from what the kids say, they were sitting around in his room smoking spice. He was ashen gray. He had a weak pulse. His eyes were open. I noticed he wasn't breathing. He was looking at me, but he couldn't talk. He had breathed his own vomit. I called to my husband. We're both paramedics. We came down. We put him down here on the floor, and we did CPR on him. I started the breathing. My husband was doing chest compressions. We got him back. He was pinking up, and he looked at me, and I told him he had to breathe. When we were able to bring him around a little and get his color back, he looked at me, and he muttered with his lips, "I love you, Mom." And it was hard.
Well, I'm glad to meet the two of you, but I'm terribly sorry for the circumstance. I would have loved to have met Stephen, but you wanted to make a statement here today. You wanted to make an impact on other kids. And tell us what's on that table right there.
That's my son's ashes there.
So that's an urn with Stephen's ashes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is where you are in your family, and his life ended, and you believe it is totally a product of smoking this K2, this synthetic marijuana.
There is a substance being sold in smoke shops right now. It's called Spice, or K2. Kids are smoking it. It looks like marijuana. It's actually a fragrance, and it's an incense. And they get high off of it. They think it's okay because it's legally being sold. We have to warn our kids. Kids are dying from it.
We knew he was smoking something other than weed because he was so proud he got off of weed and was using this new fake weed that was legal, so it was probably safe.
We didn't know what it was.
And we didn't know what it was.
Yeah, so when he switched to the synthetic marijuana, he started what? He had panic attacks?
Right.
He started being very nervous, having trouble sleeping?
Right. He had all those things. He had loss of appetite. He was sleeping a lot or wide awake a lot. I was afraid that maybe it was meth or something more serious, but I didn't really know what it was.
Well, Dr. Travis Stork is here with us today, and many of you know that Dr. Travis Stork is the host of the Emmy Award-winning show, The Doctors. He is an emergency room physician. He works with all different kinds of trauma and problems. Travis, help us out here. I want parents to understand what's going on.
a kid may think he's trying to do the right thing, or even an adult. I'm going to stop smoking marijuana. Now, I've never taken care of someone who has died from smoking marijuana. So they think they're being healthy. I'm switching to synthetic marijuana. Number one, it's stronger than marijuana. But number two, we don't know what's in it. So you have to teach your kids. Just because it's over the counter doesn't mean it's safe.
Now, since her son's tragic death, Carrie feels she can't save people as a paramedic anymore. I mean, it would shake you if you try to revive and save your own son. You know, so this has ramifications that go on. Will she be able to move on? I want to talk to her about that when we come back.
My son Stephen died on September 27, 2010. He was 19 years old. It'll never be the same. Never, never. I feel like losing Stephen paralyzed me completely, except for the fact that I have 2 other kids. My greatest fear is that I'll have a dead son and never be normal over it, be messed up forever.
Well, look, and I don't know, one thing you'll not hear me say is I know how you feel. Because if you haven't lost a child, if you haven't been there, I mean, what do you, it's impossible to even think about it. But you did what you could to try to save him, and you feel like you failed, of course, but you do know what you're doing, right?
I know I've done it hundreds of times on other people. I know we did everything right, but still I'm so afraid to go back to work. What if I can't react right? What if I get a call that's similar? It freaks me out so bad that I can't think right to help that person in the right manner. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid to go back to work. I feel sort of paralyzed, like I don't know if I'll be able to do it.
And how long has it been since you lost Stephen?
A year and 4 months.
Mm-hmm. There comes a time in the grief process, there comes a time in the life process that you just have to behave your way to success. And you're not able to save everybody and everything, but you have a wonderful skill that's been given you, and you have the ability to impact people's lives. You can't put your life on hold, you know, because of this. And you've had a seizure since this occurred, right?
Right.
And the doctors claim that you slipped into a coma because of your stress from all of this.
Right. I've had memory loss too, and so at first after the coma, when I woke up, every day I would wake up and ask my family, where's Stephen? I couldn't remember every day that he died, so they keep having to tell me every day that he died and how he died, and every day for about 2 months. And I would just start screaming, and I couldn't believe it because I had such brain damage with the seizure, not breathing. I'm getting better.
You got to put one foot in front of the other and behave your way right back into this. And it's never easy to lose a patient. It's happened to me. It's happened to all of us. And certainly when it is your loved one. But, you know, Travis, that's one of the realities of being in the profession you're in. I mean, not everybody that comes in the ER lives.
Well, anytime you lose a patient, you struggle with it. And I don't know what you're going through because I've never lost a loved one. But what I always remind myself is you did everything you can do.
I know.
There's nothing that you did that caused your son to die. The reason that your son died is it was beyond your control. And there may come a day where you save someone's life and pay it forward, and your son would want you to do that. You're in a profession that saves lives. Don't stop doing that.
Yeah, I really worry about that. And you know, if someone is lost because you're not there someday, you know, we just never know. But you got to give yourself, you got to require of yourself to step up and get in the game. All right.